Hey, hello, those watching the replay. Man, I hope some people get notification and come and enjoy me. Otherwise, I'll be talking to myself an awful lot, which is what I do anyhow. Um, I've never done this before. This working where I'm going to be doing a working hangout. I put a link in here, so as people come in, I'm going to encourage them to come join me if they want on the screen. I'm going to be taking pictures of the items that I picked up this weekend at garage sales. And plus, I've got a couple craft items that I made that I'm going to take a picture of so I can get listed on Etsy. And then, I'm going to wait till some people come in so I could talk about them a little bit more. But I got some books that I've done through KDP, and a couple of them can help your business. So hang out so you can hear about that. But in the meantime, it's probably going to be pretty boring until somebody starts to come in and talk with me because I'm going to be just listing some stuff. Oh, hey, Jen. Hey, JR, KR. 1964 is in the house. Just the two of us right now. Yes, it's a Sunday. And I was supposed to craft today. Sundays are my crafting days. And my mom is not feeling well. So she sent me a message and said that she wasn't going to be joining me today. And I told my husband, I'm like, man, do I want to go into the craft room? Do I want to craft today? Or do I really want to get downstairs and get some photos taken? I looked to see who was going to be playing football on our local channel. And the Buffalo Bills and the Dolphins are playing. And I thought, okay, I want to watch that game. So my plan is to get a bunch of pictures taken and then go upstairs and get them listed while watching football today. So let me show you what I got. How are things going with you, Jen? I haven't seen you in so long. I mean, I haven't been live in a really long time, nor have I really been hanging out in very many like reselling chats. I think just the bearded picker. But even then, a lot of those I've been watching on the replay. Just been busy. Right? As we go into Q4, it'll probably be even busier. By the way, today is 3 months until Christmas. Can you believe that? 3 months till Christmas. And let me show you. I'm going to pull an item out and I'm going to take a picture of it. Oh, before I do that, for those who are watching the replay, I did want to talk to you about what I keep handy while I am taking photos. Let me show you the stuff I keep handy. Number one, a lint roller. This is really important if you're doing clothes, but sometimes even non-clothes, I still need to roll. But you know what's funny? What I use this the most for is cleaning my photography studio surface, because I don't know, sometimes things get dirty on the I just use a white, it's just a white bed sheet, like a flat bed sheet. If you were on my whatnot this past week, I was showing everybody. I use a white bed sheet on the table in my backdrop. So when I'm doing large items, I have the table with the backdrop, and the backdrop is actually a white shower curtain. So at one point our shower door broke. We have like a larger walk-in shower, and the door broke, so we don't use shower curtains. And until the new door came in, my husband went and bought a shower curtain, and I was like, thank goodness he bought a white one, because now I use that. Hey, Anissa and John. Hey, guys. I know, what a nice surprise. I know. It is, I don't know, it was just like, my mom just called me as I was about ready to go live, and she goes, I thought you were crafting. I'm like, no, I decided not to craft. I'm going to come down and, like, this is so important, getting stuff listed, right? Because if the number one thing for reselling is if it's not listed, you're not going to sell it. So that's my goal. So I'm just going through quickly the items that I use right here. I keep at my table. And this is one. Next is my Scotty peeler, because if I'm doing like retail arbitrage and I have to take off labels, this works really well for getting under there instead of my fingernails, because my fingernails, they're so brittle. They're like so short. All right, and then of course I got my Goo Gone, so if I have to take away any with a paper towel, in case I got to take away anything there. And I'll even use this if something is just like slightly soiled, then I'll use that. Oh, you can't stay headed to church. I will have a good day at church. Wow, your church is really late. I'm usually like really early morning. I also keep my scale. I have a portable scale that doesn't require plugging in. It's battery operated. Got this on Amazon, I think, Accutech. I keep this handy. Most of the stuff I sell, I can guesstimate pretty well, but every now and then I'll just double check and weigh it, because I don't know, because sometimes I'm off on my weight. So I keep that handy. Put that over here. And what else? Oh, of course, my phone, because this is what I take pictures with, is my phone. And new to me within the last, I don't know, couple months is, I think I showed you guys when I bought this. I got this photo booth from Amazon, and it's working really well. It comes with this white background, and it comes with a black background. May even come with other colors. I can't remember, but I know I use the white the most, and then of course the black when I need it. So yeah, so I'll be kind of like facing this way while I'm doing this today. Kind of weird. 10:45 for church. Wow, yeah, that is really early. Late. That's good though. That's one thing I hated as a kid. We went to church every Sunday. We don't go to church here now. But I hated getting up every morning and going to church. It was horrible. It's like the weekend, you want to sleep in. But now that I'm an adult, I find that when I have the ability to sleep in, yeah, my body's still waking up. Like this morning, I got up at like 5:30 in the morning. Crazy. Okay, so this is what I got at the garage. Well, I'll show you this thing. Actually, I think I am going to list a couple of these. Most of these are going to go on Whatnot. I'm going to do a Christmas themed show. If you didn't hear me, I said three months till Christmas. So I bought this whole box of Christmas ornaments. This was at so I went to the casino. My birthday was Friday, and I went to the casino, and on the way home from the casino, I stopped at this garage sale. We actually had to go out of our way because they labeled it as an estate sale. But I got to do some research, but preliminary research shows that these might be worth more than what I probably want to sell them for and whatnot. Oh, hey, Holly. I see you down there. There you go.
Hey, girl.
I was like, wait a minute. I got to check and make sure my computer, I usually mute this computer because this is my upstairs computer. But yeah. So have you ever seen like these ornaments? They're flocked. And I think that they might, hold on, let me fix the screen so we're bigger on it. No, wait a minute. Which one do I want? This one right here. Gosh, I feel like it's been forever since I've been here. But they're like flocked. I got quite a few of them. Quite a few as in 4. I got this Santa. He's flocked. And then that's a newer terminology to me, flocking.
Oh, flocking was really big. We used to have a neighbor when I was a kid who had about a 3-foot tree, and she would flock it. And
really?
It was big back in the 60s at some point.
Isn't that flocking when you have like just this like that soft, I don't know. It's like fuzzy.
To me, flocking is fake snow that it looks like fake snow. That's to me what when we say flocking a tree, that's when you spray this white stuff on a tree.
Oh, so maybe I'm using the wrong terminology. But see, like I don't know if you can see here, but some of it's kind of like peeling off. Well, what's that called? I thought that was called flocking also.
Yeah, it's white. To me, flocking is when you spray white stuff on and it sticks.
Oh, okay. So wait, all right. So that's not, and this says, is it felt? It's not felt, but it's I don't know. I guess I thought this was called flocked, but maybe the terminology can be used in more than one way.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking. Because I was selling a set of deer, and I put they were flocked, and I sold them. But yeah, I don't know. But these 4 I pulled out because I thought they were maybe worth a little bit more. But I got this whole tote for this whole box for $3.
That's a good deal.
So I thought I would do on Whatnot a pick 2. So I just put, random ones, and people could pick 2 of them because I got just all this.
What's it like for you shipping all of this Whatnot stuff? Are you having challenges, or is it?
No, it's simple. Yeah, it's really simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier than eBay in the long run because the buyers always pay shipping.
Okay.
Um, you have to know how much your stuff weighs.
Yeah.
So for instance, like if I was going to sell, like pick 3, I would take 2 of these and weigh them. Most likely they're probably in the 4 to 7 ounce. And that's what I would list it at. And then if people buy more than one, they get discounted shipping for each that they buy, and it combines it into one. And then when you go to ship it, you just put in what the actual is. If you're under or over, Whatnot covers, like they make the money or they pay the difference type of thing. So yeah, it's really been pretty simple. And the screens are really simple. Like when you go to ship, it tells you what items to put in the box. And then you just click on edit and you put in how much it actually weighs and the dimensions and then print the label. So yeah, I like this guy. Mushrooms are really popular.
Yeah.
So I picked up this little vintage mushroom. It's a candle. Now I
Hmm.
did drop him. So he's got a little ding right there. But he was only 10 cents. Actually, he ended up being free. The lady said she'd throw him in with my $3 box of Christmas.
Well, I went to a couple of estate sales the past several weeks. But my guy Jacob, he has an estate sale at least once a week. And this week he had 2 estate sales. And when you go to estate sales, you see the inside of people's homes. And I've seen very high-end homes, medium homes, and homes that haven't been touched since 1968, your birth year. I remember.
Yes, it is.
And I'm not making fun or anything, but it's just merely an observation. And I went to one he had 2 this week, which is unusual, but sometimes he just takes on a smaller household. And the one this week, the house was really small. It still had the contoured carpet. You remember that from the 60s and
Oh
70s.
yeah. Yep.
And I always say the cure to cancer is in that carpet because there's so much bacteria in there that we can take that bacteria and cure cancer, you know. So that's my saying. The cure to cancer is in that carpet. So it was. And then there was
It's crazy how there's people who don't update at all.
no,
But a lot of times you'll go in that and the stuff is just absolutely in pristine condition still. So they've just taken a really it wasn't. Oh, because
no,
sometimes they're still in really good condition.
no. This was again, not making fun, just observing. Everybody has different levels of what
Yeah,
they want
I
to do at
know.
their
It's
home.
horrible. You have to like put a disclaimer each time. Yeah.
But there was carpeting, and then it was wood paneling, and it was a real modest home. And they were also selling it too. But yeah, it was.
Was it the had the person passed away, like, and the
I
family
don't
was
know.
selling it, or
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. And then, ironically, so usually I have to drive anywhere from 30 to 40 some odd minutes. Ironically, the second one he had, I actually walked to. It was in my little town.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was okay. It was again a smaller house, but my mom knew the woman who lived there, and mother said, "Oh, she always dressed up and really wore nice clothes and had this." There was hardly anything. I think her daughters heavily picked everything because
Mm.
the only thing left was stuff that was kind of old and kind of beat up. I bought a Batman beach towel. I've been buying a couple of beach towels lately.
I just bought the eBay beach towel during eBay Open.
Yeah, I bought. I don't know where it is.
Had,
Anyhow, I've been buying some vintage beach towels lately, and I bought a beach towel there
so for your own use or for reselling?
for resale.
Oh,
Yeah,
so something aside from your silverware.
yeah.
Now, you don't go by another name on where was I? Oh, it was actually. Did you go to eBay Open?
No,
Oh, okay. So there was a Holly in the Antiques and Collectible breakout. Her name was Holly. Her last name wasn't your last name, but I was like, well, maybe you just
No,
used a
there's a
different name.
Holly in Canada who that might have been her.
Well, she sells silverware. So
Oh,
she was asking a lot of questions to this other person on a panel that sold silverware and our flatware. So I was just like, wonder if that's the Holly I know.
no, but I've sold a sewing pattern this morning. I've been selling those too, and working on some projects around the house, doing some alterations for my mother, making some placemats for the people watching. I do sewing as well, as you can see.
Oh yeah, that's right.
My
I need a toaster
ironing board.
cover. Do
You
you have
need
a
a what?
pattern? A toaster cover. Do you have a pattern for a toaster cover?
No, but I can make one for you because I made about 5 of them for my sister-in-law. If you give me the dimensions of the length, the width, and the height, I can make one for you. Because
Okay,
I
because I've
make
been looking on Etsy and I haven't really found anything I like. Um, I wanted it to have like a pig, something to do with pigs. And my mom says, well, why don't you just buy a plain covered one and then just get a pig, um, like iron on or something that you can just put on it. And I thought, well, that's probably not a bad idea because the ones that I've seen with pigs, I don't really care for. Um, but I also want to make sure that the coloring matches the kitchen and all that kind of stuff. So let me get the dimensions. I'll send it to you. And
I made what I did was I quilted some material, and then it was just length, width, and height. I don't think I've got a picture of what I made my sister-in-law. She had a bunch of small appliances she wanted covers for, and then I put a fabric handle on top to just pull it off.
yep.
And I made those for her ooh, at the first of the year, I think. And I just used some material that I had here. But if you want pig stuff, then you might want to look for specific material.
Yeah, I might have to do that to find exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Unless I end up going, unless I can find the iron on patch of what I really want. Because I'm kind of like torn of, but I could also do, if I could find a vinyl patch, I could do that too. Yeah, I gotta look. It was something I kind of looked for the other day and then just kind of been off my radar. Right? When it comes to stuff for myself, it's usually a low priority. Wonder if I should have sold all of these ornaments as a set, but they're all like a different style. This one's got literally, it's like stickers for the eye and the mouth are stickers. Where, oh, hey, Phil, Texas Bandit in the house, where like the clothing is clothing, like it's like fabric.
Hmm.
That's weird. Hmm. All right. Where is there any? Oh, the nose has got a little bit coming off the nose. I'll make sure I take pictures of all the stuff that's not correct. A little bit off the ear. Okay. There are 3 items photographed. Normally I sit and watch listen to TV. That's why I love finding things like my travel time chit chat that I can listen to because
Mm-hmm.
while I'm sitting here, my desk is behind me where I normally would sit, so I can't see because I normally don't bring my computer down like I do right now. Um, so I like to just listen. And it's so hard sometimes to find stuff to just listen to where I don't have to look.
Well, I was all into the Queen's funeral and all that stuff. I was
Oh, I didn't really watch much of it. I put it on in the morning. I think I maybe about a half hour where I drank coffee and that was it. Oh, I think I watched as they were singing, I think the last hymn, and then they were walking out.
you got to give it to the Brits. They can put on a great show.
Oh yeah, they sure can.
They can put on a great show. And it was, a big deal. And she planned it all. And they had, I tell you, those guys carrying her casket, tip of the hat, guys. That thing weighed 500 plus pounds.
Oh my
And
gosh. I
those
heard there's
guys,
a fight over her jewelry.
oh, and then you had the crown, and then you had the flowers, and then later the scepter. And that thing was as even as it could be. That was that was skills. That was real skills. I was really impressed with how they were just taking those little steps, and then they would turn, and then they'd go up the steps, and then everything was even. You gotta, like I say, tip of the hat. Y'all did a good job.
Yes. Hey, I forgot to say, I also keep a ruler, a yardstick.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I really like about this photo box is that there's a hole in the top of it. So if I wanted to, I could take pictures from the top down.
Okay.
But I take this and I stick it up and it leans against it. And then I could put the item next to it to take a picture from not having to hold it. And then there's like, I don't know what it's for, but there's a little gash that's up in the corner here that's purposely made to be there. So if I keep my yardstick, I can keep my yardstick up in the top hole and then put it in the corner hole, and it just sits up on the top of my. Now it's moved. I can't do it today because I had to move my normally I'm sitting straight on, but
Right.
to do this live I had to go at an angle. But yeah, so it's like so handy. I don't know. I can't imagine that's what that was made for. But I don't know why else it's there. I mean, there's a hole in the other end where the electricity and oh, maybe it's there in case I wanted to put the power through this side to plug in instead of through the back. Because I got the power cord going through the back. Maybe that's why. I don't know, but it's perfect. Hey, let me show you. Hey, Laura. Let me show you some of the stuff that I'm also going to be photographing. I printed or had Amazon print some of the books that I'm selling. And so I have this mileage logbook. So for those who aren't doing it via an app, like I use an app, Mile IQ, if you manually log it, so this is the mileage, and I made it small enough so it can go like in your glove box or in your purse or something. So now that I went to a garage sale yesterday. Yesterday. And this lady was getting rid of so much stuff. I really should have taken like her name and address because I've got so much of a death pile that I was like, I can't handle buying more because she used to sell in Macari. But
Oh,
because the $600 tax thing now, she goes, yeah. She goes, that damn president and went from 20,000 to 600. So she's not reselling online anymore. And I said, you do realize that if you sell $20,000 worth of stuff, you don't have to pay taxes on 20,000. You have like you can deduct your mileage, your cost of goods. And so she collected vintage Tupperware. She had so much Tupperware. And I was telling her because I said, well, how much do you want for this? And she's like, $5. And I said, I've sold 2 of these this year on Etsy for $50. And she's like, really? I said, you should. And I was telling her about Whatnot. I said, have a Whatnot vintage Tupperware show and just sell it all on Whatnot. And so I got in the car and I was telling Tony, and I'm like, why didn't I buy that $5 picture from her? Like, I just got talking to her so much about how she really should continue reselling. Like, she
well, I
shouldn't
got news
stop
for you.
because of the taxes.
It no matter how much you sell, you still got to pay taxes on it.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't free money to 20,000.
Oh yeah, I know.
This is what I predict. I love making wild predictions just because it's fun. People who were not claiming their money and selling, under the 20,000 or whatever, and still continue to sell and sell, say maybe they're going to be at 35 or whatever. You think there might trigger an audit because the IRS is going to see all this money boom that you've just now started to claim, and they're thinking, I wonder if they were selling beforehand. I wonder if we're going to do an audit on folks.
But even if they audit, how would they even know? Like, unless they went to eBay and said, hey, tell me if this user had sales last year. I'm wondering. I don't know. Yeah, 87,000 reasons, as there John Jones says. But I know it makes you wonder. And I've told that to so many people, especially online, constantly telling people, like, listen, you should have been claiming when you were making 600 last year, when you were making 10,000 last year, 19,000. It didn't matter. You still had to claim that. I've claimed
Well,
it all along, no matter what I was making. Of course,
and
when I lived in Vermont, it was $600. So as soon as I started reselling, I was getting a 1099 no matter what.
well, everything's digital. There's a digital footprint everywhere, from the bank receiving the money to eBay giving you the payouts to you going, there's just all this stuff. You know, I have a CPA do my taxes, even though I'm retired. And I give her all the information and I pay the taxes on it. And then I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I know none of us like to pay taxes.
No,
But
none of
none
us
of us want to have an audit with the IRS and deal with all that nightmare. It's going to cost you more to have someone come in and help you than just to do it right the first time.
Yep. So I ordered you can get, when you create a book on KDP, you can order author copies.
Oh, that's right.
And so I ordered some author copies of these so I can list them on eBay and Etsy and stuff. Because the problem is, even if I did this on eBay and I drop shipped it from Amazon, which I can because it's my own product that's at Amazon, it takes like almost 2 weeks for a book to print and ship to you, or it can take like up to 2 weeks. So for me, I'd rather have it on hand and ship it than to have to put my handling time as 14 days for this stuff. So I also got this one. I got a bunch more, but these I only brought down
That's
3 that
cute.
I'm going to photograph today. So I did this holiday planner, and it's so cute. Of course, my daughter, she's like, "Well, where's Easter and all this other stuff?" And I'm like, "Well, it's just a Christmas planner, but I called it holiday." But it's got monthly calendars. So you've got 3 months of undated calendars. So I made sure they were undated so I can
That's a good
use
idea.
them for future years. So it's
Yeah.
got October, November, and December, and then it's got, after the monthly, it's got weekly. I don't know if I can see it. There you go, weekly planner. So you got Monday through Saturday, and then a notes page, and then the next section is a card list. So this is for you to fill in who you're sending a Christmas card to, who you received one from, with their address. So you have that from year to year. And then, let's see, there's 3 pages of that. And then there's the gift list. So there's 10 pages of this. So you put the name, the gift, and the value. So you can put, like for me, I would put Kendra on one, AJ on the other
It's very
page.
detailed.
And then I did, yeah, so it's 10 pages because who knows how many people give gifts to. And then a section for holiday meals. Now, the negative when you do KDP is if I was to send this to my own printer, these would have had tabs and they would have said each of the what it is. But I figured, people can buy tabs and make their own if they wanted to. But yeah, that's the downfall to having Amazon do it. But it's cost prohibitive for me to have somebody else do it.
And also another downfall to these journals/logs is it's not spiral bound, that you can open it up flat.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Because I would do spiral or something so at least it can be flat. So this is your meal plan and grocery
Mhm.
list for Halloween. And then I got one for Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Same thing. So it's your grocery list and stuff. So you can make your meal plan for the day. And then just a bunch of note pages. So that was one of my newest
Yep.
things. I got 2 covers. I got this one and then another one. Hey, good morning, Michelle. So I got to take a picture of that one.
You know what? Going back to all my jobs that I've had in the past and dealing with various vendors and stuff, you can take like a soft cover book like that and take it to a print shop or whatever, and they cut the edge off,
They just cut right down this.
and then they can spiral bind it. But you got to make sure you've got enough of a blank margin right here. I don't know how far in that it goes to do this.
Yeah.
And then I don't, maybe ask and see how far in it could go, and you could put maybe into the notes, if you want it spiral bound, take it to your local copy shop and see how much it costs to do it. But That's the one drawback is they don't have that option at Amazon KDP to spiral bind it.
Yeah, they print it in Delaware, Middletown, Delaware. The other thing is, so starting in July, they said if you've got low content books, and they consider
Yeah.
this low content,
Mm-hmm.
that they are not going to put a US
UPC?
ISBN on it. So for instance, like this one, right? This
Mm-hmm.
one still has an ISBN, so it
Oh, the
has an
ISBN.
ISBN number. So they said they weren't going to do that anymore. So I took it from putting it over here to putting it in the middle because I didn't know they were still going to have some type of barcode. So now I got to change, like future ones I do, I got to remember to keep this over on the left side.
Left side.
So this is the other book that I have. I wanted to show the first one and this one because they are for resellers. This is a small business ledger book because believe it or not, there's still a lot of people who don't use, well, especially if you're a smaller time seller, you're not going to pay the money to have QuickBooks or stuff like that, which I gotta jump ship from Inventory Lab because their price just went up and I'm just not doing enough Amazon to make it worth the expense. But I use it for my accounting. But it's an accounting ledger, so you would just write in all of your different transactions. So you can use this for accounting. So you just put your the date, the account, you know, like what it was for. So if you had like an eBay deposit, just kind of helps keep track of stuff. So I did this one too. Made it nice and generic. So it's nice and plain black. It's actually a dark gray. So those are
I
my
actually bought Microsoft Office. I've got a Mac computer, and all the years I was a secretary, we used Windows at all of the places. So I learned Excel and the Microsoft suite of stuff. And I had tried to use the Apple version of Excel, which is called Numbers, and there was a brain disconnect with me, and knowing how to do Excel it's like driving on the other side of the road. Yeah, I can do it, but I got to really think a lot about it and figure out where stuff is. So at the beginning of this year, I decided, okay, I'm just going to bite the bullet and buy the subscription because they don't sell it out of the box anymore. Everything is a subscription. And I thought, I'm going to get the Excel, keep track of stuff. And because my accountant said, hey, keep track of other things for deductions. So I thought, let's just go ahead and do it. But yeah, I do. I keep track of some of my inventory in little books like this, just because I give the SKU numbers of everything on here. But when I sell stuff, I keep track of it in the Excel.
Laura, if you want that accounting ledger, I can sell this to you at my cost. You're a good friend, so yeah, you don't have to buy it directly from Amazon.
And you could probably spiral bind that one too if you thought about it.
Yeah, let me see how
what your margins on the left side are.
Like it's really tight.
Well, ask them when they take that spine off, see how much room they've got there. Just it doesn't hurt to ask the copy shop how much they go in on.
I'll put a link to that one in the thing if you want to buy it from Amazon. But yeah, I have no problem if you want to buy this one. I'm going to list it on eBay, so I mean it's available. Bookshelf. I'm already on the bookshelf, Tamara. That's the default page. I've got so many books. I was so excited to get them all in. I've tried to get one of every book that I've made.
Well, it's nice that you can see what it looks like. I think you want to see, okay, I did all this hard work on the computer. This is what it looks like printed out. You might catch something you want to change later, the font size or, something like that. I think it's good to have a hard copy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me send you the link to this. And actually, let me get the where it's a referral link. I think I got to log out though. Nope, I don't. Text. Right, then I can get the, because this is the thing, it's cheaper for you to order it from Amazon than to get it from me.
Because
Because
of shipping?
Amazon is free if you have Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
right? Free shipping. This is only $5.86 on Amazon. So, I mean, it would cost me probably close to that to ship it all the way to Alabama because of the weight.
Medium mail, yeah, you're close. It's a little under because 2
But I don't even
pounds.
know if I could go medium mail because it's not like there's nothing. I mean, it's printed in it, but I
There's
don't
no
even know if I
advertisement. I would medium mail that one because
would
there's no
you.
advertisements.
I get confused. Like when I look at because as you all know, of course, selling planners. There are people who will sell planners all the time, and they do media mail. I do all of mine first class or priority mail, and I mean people pay priority mail; they have no problem. But so I'm always kind of like, should I go? Although somebody sent me a message last week and they wanted a better deal than what I was selling it for. And I said, well, I could take a couple dollars off, but if you don't mind, I'll switch it to media mail instead of priority mail, and that'll save you a little bit. And they wanted that. So I guess somebody reaches out, but most of the time, no, you're getting it priority because it's over a pound. I picked up this set of pepper and salt shakers, but they're mills actually.
Yeah, pepper grinders.
Yep. So there's no brand on them.
Looks kind of like Pier 1 or something, or
Yeah. They looked really nice. I'm like, yeah, I'll grab them. They're really cute. So they're made of like a ceramic. I'm gonna check. Who was that? Okay, so I've got 3 pen names on Amazon, and that one's under Pipinari. And then I got Red Barn Publishing, and I've got my name. I started off with everything just my name because I tried to put stuff as Red Barn Planning, and it got rejected every single time.
really?
It would not let me use Red Barn Planning. Yep.
Hmm.
So they said it's like confusing to buyers. I think it's because I had the word planning, and it might be a journal, but it's
Well,
planning.
they might think of estate planning or
Oh, but
investment.
it's the brand name. Like it's not, it's the author. It's not in the title. So there's no planning in the title.
Well, the
If it's
word
a journal,
planners,
because I've
planners.
done like maze books and coloring books and all that. Yeah, I don't know. So I tried Red Barn Publishing and it worked. So I'm like, okay, good. That's what I'm going to use.
Well, we had some.
Probably
You,
should show both of
you
these.
know, when you own a home, there's always something not always going wrong, but things tend to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So we had our dishwasher. You've got that air gap knob that sticks up. Well, it was leaking at the bottom, and we also needed a new gasket. So the guy finally came and did it, and he said to put white vinegar inside the dishwasher about once a week to keep the pipes from getting all slimed up.
Oh yeah, probably like I do with my coffee maker.
Yeah.
I
And
probably
then,
should do that because I was thinking because I know you can buy dishwasher cleaner that
yeah.
you put in your dish to clean your dishwasher. Same with your washing machine and stuff. But I know they make it for the Keurig too, and I bet you all that is probably some crystallized vinegar.
Citric acid works fabulous on the inside of a dishwasher. So after the dishwasher guy came, it was one of those days. Oh, that's cute.
Just showing that's the next thing I bought. Cute little.
It still gets a little warm down here about midday. So we turned the air conditioner on, and when an air conditioner is doing its thing, it secretes water. There's water that comes out of it. I'm talking real technical, y'all. There's water that comes.
Y'all didn't know you're on the home show.
Well, our furnace and stuff is in the basement, and there's this little pump thing about 12 inches by 8 by 4 or whatever that pushes the water up this hose and then it goes into a pipe. Well, I had sold a sewing pattern for Barbie doll clothes. So I was going to go downstairs and get that and take care of it. Well, that little pump decided to die and there was water on the floor. So Barbie
Oh.
saved the day because we don't go down in the basement all the time. So we called the furnace guy and he came and fixed that the next day and then lit our pilot light for the winter season. So we avoided some water damage.
Yeah, that's good. Good thing you caught it.
Yes, Barbie saved the day. So we were happy about that.
Yeah, nobody wants water. Oh, there's a little. Oh, so I also keep some disinfecting wipes handy when I'm
Yes.
doing this, and so I'm wiping her down because she's a little dusty, and I just noticed her hair right here has a chip. I did not notice that when I picked her up and bought her.
But
And
that's in the back. People aren't going to notice
yeah,
that.
some people, if they, if they wanted this, it wouldn't make as big of a difference. But now I got to make sure I, mention it. Where honestly, I've picked this up a number of times because you can't tell.
Mm-mm.
I picked this up a number of times and not once had I even noticed that was there. So, so I want to say one of the things I do because I like to do things in batches, and there was a lot of
Yes.
talk about this during eBay Open. There was a lot of new sellers at eBay Open. And one of the things that I like to do is I will take a bunch of pictures and I take a picture of the price that I paid for it at the bottom because I put that into my custom SKU so I know what my cost of goods was for when it sells. Because that's the type of accounting I do. And then I have a tote right here that's ZZ. I take a picture of the tote when I first started. So I know that from now on, anything in the camera roll is going to be in ZZ. So in my custom SKU, I'll put ZZ GS for garage sale and 0050 for the 50 cents I paid for this. And it just makes it easy so I can be upstairs and list and not have to, like the item doesn't have to be right with me. So one of the things I would like to do, let me get the mileage book for her. Yeah, that might be under a different name. Like I've been kind of bouncing around with my names. Oh no, it's a Pipinari also. So I have been. What are you doing? Text, copy. Sorry, I kind of got sidetracked here because Laura asked for the message for the other one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put those down in my. Hey, Carlene. I'm gonna have to put them down in my description. So if anybody watching this is interested in those books, what was I gonna say? Oh, I know. So doing it like this, I could hire. I'm thinking about hiring a VA because I can sit down here and take 1,000 pictures of items in an afternoon. And if I could then upload those to like a Dropbox or wherever people share stuff with VAs in like the Philippines, and then at night they could be sitting there listing the items for me. And I don't know how much it costs for a VA in the Philippines to list stuff, but they literally would be able to see that. Oh, okay. If I told them, all right, put that it's in ZZ, and this is how I want my custom SKU, even if they just put 50 cents in the custom SKU, like they don't have to put GS for garage sale. Like that's fine with me. And then if they went ahead and listed this stuff for me, that would be amazing. The problem is a lot of this stuff, there's probably not a comp for this doll anywhere.
Right.
So like they wouldn't even know what to price it at. But I could just have them price everything at like $100. If they don't know, put it at $100.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could just go in and edit the pricing. So if they could just at least get it listed. But this is what I do at night. I sit here, while I'm watching TV, I'm listing. I don't like to just sit and watch TV.
I'll take a bunch of pictures all at once and then describe them a little bit. I do things in batches as well because you can be up, down, and once you're in the groove of doing one one task, you want to stay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and if I'm listing like clothes, I'll take a picture of all my shirts, all my like
Mhm.
t-shirts, because it's so much easier to say sell similar. Like when I'm doing my planners, I'll just say sell similar and then just change a few details on it.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a lot of items that are the same, for instance, if it's let's say I had because I have a backpack right here. Let's say I had a whole bunch of backpacks because at one point I did have a whole bunch of backpacks. I still have some. Um, and I would just do sell similar. So from the Spider-Man backpack, I would go to the Hello Kitty backpack, and I would just keep doing sell similar. And all I would do is change like if the length was any different. And a lot of times they're all the same length. They were all the same brand. I may put Hello Kitty and Spider-Man and Superman or whatever in the title, but in the description, I probably would omit that and not even put it in the description because I would just do sell similar and not even change anything in the description. I would just keep it all the same, saying backpack, 14-inch backpack, new with tags. That's it. Because most people don't read the descriptions anyhow. So I'm not going to take the time to do that. Walter has his VAs do the descriptions and saves as drafts, then finishes them himself. I saw him saying that he does that. I think there's a lot of people who do that. But you know what I've seen though with the drafts, and I would probably have them do it as a draft when they first start, but I'd hope I'd get to a point where I would trust and they can just launch them. Or they can schedule them for like a week out, even though. So this is one
How do
thing I
you do
learned.
that?
So
How
one
do
thing
you
I learned at eBay Open, well, because when you're listing, you can schedule it. So if you're gonna go on vacation, but you want to still list your 5 items a day,
Mhm.
you can schedule it to list. There is a fee of 15 cents.
Oh, okay.
But I heard Danny Ackerman said she was hosting one of the rooms, and they were talking about that. She was saying that you can schedule it, but it doesn't charge you until it actually posts it.
Okay.
So let's say you went ahead and you scheduled, let's say I had a VA and I said to the VA, schedule them, 20 every day for the next week or whatever. Um, but I could go in and launch them before it schedule posts it. Because one of the things I've heard about it going into your drafts, because one of the eBay groups I'm in, it's like a smaller group,
Mhm.
is so many people complain that my drafts have been wiped out. Where did all my
I've
drafts
heard
go?
that. I've
I've
heard
heard
that.
that so many times that if you're paying a VA to put stuff in your drafts and you get to it a couple of days later and it's no longer there, you just wasted that
Yeah.
money paying your VA. Now they got to repeat what they just did. So that is what would concern me because I see that so often, unless they put it into like List Perfectly or one of those programs, because you can list within List Perfectly and then have it send it to eBay. So you could always have them list within List Perfectly. I don't trust eBay in their drafts at all.
I At one time I had as many as 40 or some odd drafts, but I thought, let's just go ahead and make them all live. I'm a hobby seller, so it's not like I'm looking at big dollars here, but I am almost at the point. I've got the basic store of being at 1,000, almost at my 1,000 listing mark. Now I do list a number of books, and my sewing patterns are free listings, which I was really surprised on the patterns. So I've got around 1,400 items in my store right now, and I've got maybe about 90 more slots before I hit my 1,000. And it's
Can you
20.
guys see? I'm sorry, Holly. Can you see what's outside my door, my window?
Is that somebody with a ladder or something?
Yeah, let me show you. This is what my husband's got to do sometime in the near future. I don't know. Let me see. I gotta look as I'm showing. See all that wood?
Oh yeah, splitting the wood.
So we've been camping all summer
Mm-hmm.
and we took off in April. And in April, things were still frozen here. Things don't unthaw until May. Hold on, let me put you back here. So yeah, I think it was about July. Tony goes, yeah, I said, we have no wood for this winter. So we ended up hiring somebody we bought wood this year. I'm like, we got 100 acres of wood and we're buying wood. So he's actually having the Amish kids come over, and they're gonna stack it all for us. And he pays them with meat. So he just brought over 3. He's been goose hunting, and he just brought
I
them
saw
3.
that, yeah.
And yeah, I think Tony's gotten about 30. Well, maybe 30 goose in the last 3 days. And you're allowed 15 a day. And he
Wow.
decided not to go out today. He's like, yeah, I don't really need them because he brought some over to the Amish. But last year the Amish guy built us a cupola, and we paid him with a deer because I don't eat venison, and it's just Tony here, so he doesn't need that many deer to eat. So yeah, so if we can, like, barter in that regard, it's awesome.
Yep.
We got his kids coming over. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Hopefully you remember what you were talking about.
Well, is it 20 cents a listing after 1,000?
I think it depends on your store level.
I'm at,
I think my store level it's 15 cents. So
you're at a premium?
yeah, I'm a premium. I get
Okay.
like I think 10,000 listings, and I'm at 1,700.
Yeah.
Almost 1,800. Actually, I might be at 1,800 now. All right, I'm just gonna show you this too. So then I'm gonna get back to a listing. But I picked this up yesterday. Nice, cool. Anything that's Mickey Mouse. And this is from Disney. I do have not on me in my purse upstairs. Okay. Yeah, I saw that he was delivering. How much do you need?
I don't know. I think 60.
Oh yeah, I probably have 60 because I got money from the casino. It's in the side zipper. Went to the casino for my birthday and I did not do so well.
Oh.
I know. I'm like, how disappointing on your own birthday. Like, I really wanted to stay there longer, but I didn't want to spend more than what I was willing to spend.
So you just play the slots only?
Yes. I think I might try doing a video for this.
That would be cute to show the lights, because that really sets it off.
Yeah. Wonder if I can I'm going to do a video, and I think I'll use my Filmora to remove the sound and add in Halloween music. Oh, you know what I need to do? I'm going to turn that down. Oh, I gotta hold on. I gotta close my my hole at the top.
I think, yeah, having the lights turned down and then turning it on, because when I saw that, I thought that would be something that people would put in their windowsill, like they do Christmas candles.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just see it without the lights on, you're just thinking, oh, it's just another pumpkin.
All right, 18-second video. Yeah, it's really cute, especially I just turned the lights off. Yeah, so it's dark. Yep, cute. All right, turn that off. Wonder if I probably should put a measurement on that.
Now, are you going to sell it with batteries or not?
Yeah, I'll just leave the batteries in. If there's batteries already in something, I'll usually leave it. And it doesn't look like it's vintage, so.
No, it doesn't look that old.
If it was vintage, sometimes I would check the batteries to begin with to make sure they're not corrosive.
A bird just flew into the window.
Jeez, I heard a noise.
It was like, I kept seeing this bird and I thought, okay, he's just messing with the trees. No, he bangs into the windows.
I hate when the guy comes and brings wood, but he doesn't give Tony a heads up that he's coming, right? To make sure you got cash on hand.
Well, just open the refrigerator and give him some stuff.
Wow, this guy's not the Amish. That's a little different.
Oh,
he does it for a living.
Yeah, kind of like a little text or something.
Oh, I got this from them too. Let me see. Actually, all this is from the same garage sale right now. I got this one. She had a lot of Disney stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So this was cute. And this one, now what was in that said? Oh, maybe it's the other one. It's the next one. So this one was $1. Actually, it was less than $1 because So here's my picture. So I know I paid $1. It was less than $1 because the total was 33 and I ended up paying 27 for everything. There's remnants of candy in the bottom.
Some schmutz.
Like those Easter eggs with the shell, they're Cadbury ones.
Yeah, they don't melt in your hand, they melt in the can.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, that stuff eventually leaches onto the container. Does Disney stuff sell pretty good?
I don't know. I think so. Like I've had other Disney stuff. I don't have a lot of Disney stuff in stock because it usually doesn't last very long.
Well, then I mean, I guess it sells then. I just to show you how old I am, I was in Daytona Beach in 1977, and we went to Orlando for the day, and I think they had just opened Epcot or had just been starting to open.
Yeah. I remember when Epcot opened.
That's the only time I've been to Disney World is when we were down there. And
my parents won a trip. There was a mall that opened up in Vermont and they were giving away a trip to Disney World in Florida. My parents put in for it and they won. Now we were a family of 6 and the prize was only for a family of 4. So instead of flying down, we took the train because they used the money that would have been for airfare for a train. And then I think we ended up staying with my grandparents. So they must have like given them a cash amount of the prize would be my guess. So yeah, so we got to go to Disney, which was nice. I got
okay,
stung by a bumblebee though. So I don't that
it
wasn't
says
nice.
here Epcot opened in October of 1982.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they were building it back in 77.
I wonder if they had opened part of it before then or
I don't know.
yeah, I'm sure it took them years and years to make it, to build it.
Yeah. Here's a little tidbit for you. I used to type people's term papers when I was in college on a manual typewriter because that's what we had back then. And I was a really good typist and still am. So I remember this one guy gave me, it was kind of like a medium-sized short-term paper. His term paper was on how Walt Disney secretly acquired all the land in Orlando to build Disney World. And
Oh, really?
I would like to see a documentary on that because somebody just can't come in there and start buying up all this land without folks asking questions.
Well, they had to fill in. A lot of it was waterway. Today,
Yeah.
they would never get away with it with the EPA and stuff. They'd
So
never be able to get away with that.
I remember that was an interesting way of, how they approached all this stuff. And yeah, you're right. The laws were so different back then.
Hey, just a tip. I just put one of my black tablecloths in here because when I take pictures of a backpack, I like to puff it up. But this is a lug. I've never heard of the brand Lug, L-U-G.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Oh, have you? Yeah, it looked expensive, and everything at that garage sale looked expensive. So
let me go get the placemat I just made. I'm going to mute myself, and I'll bring it right back.
okay, I'm gonna look. Oh, I gotta get a charger for my phone. Lug backpack. My battery's getting low. I should have thought about that. Ooh, it's expensive. Okay, let me put sold and condition is used. Let's just look and see what we got. $45, $64, $40, $40, 40, 52, 85. Wow. Okay, any of this color? I don't see any. Oh, nope, that's close. $84? Used. Now this one's a lot like it. This one only went for 20, but it's in gray. Oh, thank you, Laura. Hopefully it will like boost. I've got one book that's doing really, really well, and I keep selling a lot of them. I think actually I'm gonna look and see. I'll tell you what I'm not gonna tell you the book though on here. I would tell you, but not on here. Hold on, let me find it. I'll tell you what the BSR is for books. I feel a scratchy throat coming on. So, all right. So I got one that's 635,000, which, I mean, it's not great, but it's actually pretty good. Like, it's consistent sales. I think I sold 30 of them last month, which I'm very happy with. Oh yeah, the other one's 843,000. But when it comes to books, you can have a higher BSR and still have consistent sales. All right, so this backpack, I'm gonna list it for like $50.
Yeah, I've heard of that lug brand before.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good starting point.
Okay, this is the placemat I made. We wanted a patriotic theme to it.
Oh, that's nice.
And then the back was a really large banquet tablecloth that I cut up. Okay, I know this is going to be riveting for the viewers, so just, here you go. I'm sarcastic in case you haven't figured that out. At times, the binding, the people who are sewists in the audience, when you can do binding and you have this beautiful mitered corner, you're very proud of yourself.
Well, you have talked about sewing before on here, and I don't know if you ever go back and read the comments on shows where you've guest starred, but people have left you comments. People have commented on you.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I should remember to like let you know so you can go and check it out.
Well, and then here, and this is called, I get rid of some stuff too, because the thing in the middle is some interfacing I used up. And then I saw this on a video. This is a cloth bag. This is a cloth gift bag.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I looked at the instructions. There were no instructions. It was just all video. The person, I think, was from Japan or something. So they just showed everything, but it's lined on the inside. So what you can do is you can give this as a gift, and then the bag, you can do something with that. And this is a great way to use your scraps.
Yeah.
So and then I'm going to make bigger ones of these too, but I was real pleased how this turned out.
I love it. Like you do something and you're like, yeah, that came out really nice.
Well, again, getting these corners to be nice and flat, you have to get the stitch right where you need it. And then when you turn it inside out, again, riveting viewing here, folks. But that makes you feel good.
Oh, yes.
But, oh, look at those corners. They're all nice and 90 degrees.
This is the last thing I picked up at that garage sale. So this is a Mickey and Minnie.
They did have a lot of Disney stuff.
Yeah, they had other stuff too I left behind. And, part of me is like, I should have just grabbed it because they said that. So this was actually from Disney Parks. So they were actually at Disney to get it. But, yeah, because she said like, oh, everything's negotiable. Because the garage sales we went to yesterday, people were saying how people weren't even going to them. Like nobody was out garage selling yesterday. I'm like, well, yeah, because it was cooler, and I mean, it's after Labor Day in the north, and people don't usually go out and garage sale after Labor Day. For me as a buyer, it's wonderful, but for them as a seller, they weren't selling stuff.
Well, my guy Jacob, he's doing estate sales all year round. He's doing them he takes a few weeks off for holidays and vacation, but he is doing estate sales 12 months out of the year. And they're all inside as opposed to being outside garages.
It makes it a little easier.
But he is a full-time estate sale fella, and he's killing it here. He's got 2 sales this past week, and I think he's got a 4-day sale coming up starting Tuesday of this week, which is kind of unusual. But he's got a sale just about every week. And
I'm so jealous of you guys that have estate sales.
well, there's a lot of hits and a lot of misses, though. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for clear glass, there's a boatload of it down here.
I went to a garage sale that had so much of it, and it was like 50 cents a piece. But I just don't know enough about it to even know what to pick.
Clear glass is not as unique and as depression glass and all that other stuff, but clear glass is abundant. And then you'll find places where there's a collection. Oh, I got some pilot handbooks. One of the last sales I went to, the guy worked for an airline in some capacity.
Huh.
And then I don't think he was a pilot. I think he might have been a mechanic because there was a lot of tools.
Probably
But
collectors.
he's also a golfer too. Huh?
Probably collectors that collect that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you. You're talking about scraps of fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to do a lot of scrapbooking and card making, stamping up, that kind of stuff. So I was on Whatnot hanging out in the arts and craft thing one day, a couple months ago, and they were talking about junk journals. And I'm like, I'm going to look into that a little bit more because people were just buying up the stuff to make junk journals.
Yeah.
So I ended up talking to my mom because, my mom, she loves to craft, but she's been doing a lot of flower arrangements, and she has nowhere to sell them. So she's making all these crafts with no outlet for getting rid of them. I don't have the space here to, like I said, I'll list them, but I don't have the space here to store it. So I said, Mom, like storing paper is a lot easier than storing vases and other stuff. So I just made this. I'm going to take a picture of this and put it up on Etsy today. This is my first junk journal. I made a fall one. So what people do is this, I think this may have been a magazine photo. So you just use scraps of stuff that you have sitting around your house. This is a recipe of an apple recipe from inside a cookbook. Like so many books that I have listed on eBay that have been listed for so long, I took them down and I'm like, Mom, we're just going to start ripping the pages out of them. And this is all right, so this is just like a journaling square. So people get these and they journal in them. So there's a little tag. Whoops, I'm upside down. So a tag here, not upside down, but backwards. And then this is a note card. So this is from the Boys Club. They send you stuff in the mail trying to get you to donate.
Yeah.
So this was something that came in the mail for me to donate, and just a little note card. So I threw that in here for people to journal on. And then,
what's the difference between junk journaling and bullet journals?
Well, a bullet journal usually is like on a dot grid paper. And
Okay.
people can, make they'll sit there and use a ruler and make their own monthly and their weekly. Like they just design the journal to be what they want.
Okay.
This one I think is just more for people to journal in. Like they may even put like photos in it. And I don't know. I don't know like who uses this. I just know there's a market for it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I just wasn't sure the difference.
Yeah, this was a map. This is a map of New Hampshire. And so I actually coffee dyed that. Mom coffee dyed some of these doilies that she got. And I did these. The big thing is to make sure that there's something on the page for them to be able to write.
Yes.
Or at least I think. So
yes.
So this has got a little tag. This is coffee dyed paper. This is actually a napkin that this.
Pretty.
So I was in a different whatnot auction and bought a whole bunch of napkins from somebody and cut out that and decoupaged it on. And then this little envelope, it's got a little piece of paper inside there. And then this one's got a big tag that comes out. So this is called a belly band. So a lot of words I've never known before. I've learned in the last month. And another pocket
That's
with
cute.
something in that one. It's like this is so, it is they're so fun to make. And then this comes out. So this was turned into a pocket. This is actually from. So when you go to Hobby Lobby, they have these like pamphlets that are hanging in on all the areas on different crafts that you can do. So kind of like inspirational pamphlets for you to pick up and be like, oh, okay, I can make this with clay. So we went around and we picked up, no kidding, a stack of them this high. I thought for sure that they were going to come and yell at us. This high, we picked up pretty much every pamphlet they had they're free for the taking.
Oh, those kind of pamphlets. Okay.
Yeah, but they mean for you to only take one, right? Not for you to go to literally every row and take every single pamphlet. So this was in one of the pamphlets. So I cut that out and made that with that. And then the other side of that one. This is the other side of the map. Oh yeah. So what I really liked about this map from New Hampshire is it had this fall scene right here, even though it's sideways. I liked that it had that fall scene, so I incorporated that into it. But yeah, so it's just pretty much using scraps of paper, scraps of stuff that you got sitting around. And so there, that's what I made.
Also,
And I did this whole sewing today, which I've never done. They call this a signature, which I've never heard of that term before either. But this is a signature, and then you can take like 3 signatures and put them into almost like a traveler's journal. And put a cover on them, but I'm going to sell this one all by itself. And then I'll show you my other art project, another one I finished up today, which I've learned when you go to iron ribbon, make sure you got it on the correct temperature setting. So this ribbon right here used to be as long as these. Wait a minute, where am I? These. But I burnt it. It melted when I went to iron them this morning. So
there's a term in the sewing world called a pressing cloth. And it's usually a handkerchief, something with no color to it at all. And you put that on top of the item and then you iron it. So
yeah, my mom used to do that when she was doing stuff.
Yeah.
So so I ironed the ribbon because it was wrinkled. But so I made this. My daughter's best friend had a baby.
Oh, that's cute.
On September 11th. So I made this. So let me show you this. This has been so much fun. So we've kind of got away from the tier trays because it became an extremely oversaturated market. All right, so you open this up, and this is a bookmark that you can pull out so she can journal in this. And then this comes out also, and this I made it to fit wallet-sized photos.
All right.
You just put them right on it. And then you open it this way, and this way, and this way. So there's like all this.
Wow.
But these are made for like a traditional photo that you would take with a camera and then get printed at a like Walmart or whatever. So it'll fit that. Same with this. So these all come out. And then over here are two more journaling squares. So she works at a bank in an office setting. And I thought this would be cool. Like she could keep this on her desk at work and put pictures of her baby in it when she goes back to work. Or she could even like sit it and it will display like this that will have pictures of the baby. So I thought that was cute. I ended up deciding this morning to sew it into the back page, like hand sewing it, of course. But a lot of people do this, Holly, and they would take their sewing machine and they would do like a zigzag stitch all the way around the paper. Like that's really, really popular in this realm of stuff. But I have a sewing machine, but I don't even know how to like thread it to start it. So I brought this down because I got to mail it to her.
Well, some sewing machines are a lot of them are extremely expensive. I've seen sewing machines for $13,000. I mean,
Wow.
this thing does embroidery and computerized, and it, you know, you want a car, you want a sewing machine. You know, it's one of those
Right.
things.
Oh my God. Right.
So,
But I guess if it's your business.
well, no, I see ladies who are just, they call it their retirement sewing machine. Now, not everybody buys one that much. I saw that at the store. But if I'm going to sew something besides fabric, I'm not going to use my expensive machine. I'm going to use some beater that I've got, because not everything can go through a sewing machine, and the needles can break on some of that non-traditional material going through.
So sewing like paper and stuff.
Yeah, you have to have a machine that's got a little bit more power to it, because the newer machines are very specific, and you don't want to screw it up on putting a non-traditional thing through unless you know for sure it's going to work. And needles can only go through so much, you know. It's not like they're some laser guided missile. The needles can break very easily. And
Well, I was having a heck of a time just hand sewing it because my mother's got the thing. So so you take the signature and you put 3 holes in it, and then you take I used like a waxed like thread. And I didn't have the thing to make the holes, so I just took my largest sewing needle that I have, manual sewing, and made the holes. But it was tough. Like I put the needle down and I pushed on it with a plastic ruler that I got to push through, and I used an old book underneath for when it came out the other end. But yeah, I need to get something that will be easier to make these holes, because then pushing it through was really tough.
look, I have something in my closets over here, or my cabinets. It's a punch for leather.
How
A
does that
leather
work?
punch.
About a turkey.
Oh, that's cute.
It's from Gaunt. How do you say that? Gans? The Ganz? Is it Gans? Yeah.
Yeah, look for a leather punch, because
the Webkins.
they've got different size tips that you can unscrew on and off. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
So I went to a rummage sale that was actually raising money for some youth program, and I grabbed this. She said $0.25, and I gave her $1 for it. Number one, I had to go to the restroom really bad, and I didn't want to wait for my change. And number two, I wanted to support the organization. But they didn't have much, mostly like baby clothes. A lot of clothes. Pants.
I found it. It is a punch. Yeah. For watch, belt, leather, cardboard, etc.
Does it have what's the punch look like? Does that just
And then I just was showing you the card there.
Yeah. Because so I have this thing that makes okay, well, that might be too big though.
Well, but no, that's what you put the tip on.
Oh, okay.
And then here are the tips here.
So when I was doing a lot of like eyelets and stuff, I've got this little thing that's got like a spring on it, and I would put it against the paper and I would pull up and let it go, and it would pop the hole into the paper. I'm like, that's what I need. Something like that I could pull up and it would go boop, and make the hole for
That's
me.
one tip.
Okay, so probably different sizes based upon.
There's 5 different sizes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'll have to check that out in the store, because that might be something that could work.
This is the biggest one here.
Oh yeah, that's big.
And
That's
then
good.
what you
But I guess
do,
if I was depending on what size and or how many signatures I was putting together, how many pages, I could possibly want
oh,
something
I
big.
see. It unscrews at the top here. See, I've got one in there now.
Okay.
And then you unscrew that tip.
Do you make leather goods? Is that why you bought it?
No, no, it was for just whatever. And then you put whatever tip you want in it. And then you screw it back onto this.
Okay. Oh,
And then that, when you push down on it, you got to really push hard. Interesting.
yeah. So does it have like a little spring in it when you
Yeah.
push hard that
Yeah.
will poke it through the leather?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So that's probably like similar to the paper one that I have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all my tips are probably too big for it though.
Long run. That's what it's called. But it's made in Japan.
In Japan. You don't hear about Japan very much anymore. Like vintage stuff from Japan, but you don't hear about like recent stuff from Japan.
This has got 6 tips to it.
So I picked up this. I love buying ceramic things. So this lady at another garage sale, I was only her second shopper, and it was like 11 o'clock in the morning, only the second person to go. It was $3, but she sold it to me for $2 because it's got this on its hat. I don't know if it will rub off. I tried to rub it with my fingernail.
You got to be careful because you don't want to take the paint off.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just going to use my rag. I must have thrown that away because it did get kind of dirty from that last one. So I'm going to wipe them down. But I've got I got a golfer and a fireman, and then she had some that were 2 people, a boy and a girl, and she said that her father said they were Hansel and Gretel. I'm like, well, they don't look like Hansel and Gretel, but I ended up not leaving. I left them there because I just feel like something like a boy and a girl would be more expensive, or not more expensive, but would be harder to sell than a themed like a golfer or fireman or Christmas or Halloween or something like that. Like if it was a boy and a girl opening presents at Christmas, then that would be a little easier to. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
And that's a weird spot for something to stain it.
Yeah.
Unless,
I wonder if maybe it was made to just, to make it look like he's got a dirty hat.
well, that's true.
I said, or maybe he fell and got dirty.
When you feel the top of it, is it the same surface feel?
Yeah, it doesnn't feel. Yeah.
Like something spilled on it?
Like if I was blind and I was feeling it, I don't feel any. Yeah, there's really no.
Maybe it is supposed to be little boy dirt or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, at least it's in the back.
It's in the back with that girl's broken hair, so.
Correct, yes. Like this would look really cute in some, a man cave or in someone's office. Like if you're in a corporate office and you can put something on your credenza sitting behind you or something. This would be cute. Yes, it would look cute, little boy, little Johnny. Gonna go out and.
I think when someone's a golfer, they get golf everything from everybody. So at some point, every child that's golf oriented is somewhere. And like I say, a recent sale I went to, the guy was a golfer and they had the golf cart for sale. Guess how much they got for that golf cart?
Wow.
$5,700.
Huh.
And it was tricked out with University of Kentucky stuff on it. But it was, they were silent bids. And $5,700 for a golf cart. And it was a fairly new golf cart too.
Like 57 is really not that bad in the big scheme of stuff.
How
like
much
golf
did it
cart,
cost?
A lot. I don't know, but there was we just went to the RV show in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and there was a golf cart company there selling golf carts. So yeah, he's cleaned up, and that's not coming off his hat. So I don't know. Like if it was just this one, I would be like, oh, that's probably where they had a sticker or something, like a price sticker. But the fact that it's got like here and here, like it's probably not from a sticker.
And they
So you
wouldn't put
like
a
you don't want to
sticker.
take the paint off.
They wouldn't put a sticker on something they know is going to damage the item.
Well, you would hope not. But
Oh,
I'll tell you, taking off some stickers this summer, I've like some of the stuff is like ripped right off.
well, okay. Okay. I thought you meant the store as opposed to the garage
All
sale.
right. No, yeah. Like, well, even like Goodwill, right? They don't know. They
Oh.
just throw shit wherever. Like,
Yeah, I was listening to your travel time chit chat and you were talking about the boat show. I used to work in downtown Nashville, and the beginning of the year, I was about the second or third week of January. There was this huge boat show that was there all week, and it kind of reminded me of what you went to. And I thought they probably travel from state to state, but there was always this big boat show that would come to town and dead of winter, and
well,
they
this is the largest RV show in the nation in Hershey.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know if this had RVs or not. I didn't go, but I just always know that it was there every year about in January, and it was a big honking deal.
all right, this was made in 1990 by B. It does have on the back pocket, it does say Dawn. I don't know if that'll be an issue, right? So, I mean, if this was made for somebody by the name of Dawn,
Yeah, if it was made for somebody named Don, they put it on the front, not on his back pocket.
yeah, put it on the front pocket. I don't know. I'm assuming
Maybe
the
that's
mold.
a maker's mark.
No, it looks like the mold. Looks like
Hmm.
the mold made it so it purposely because it's raised. So then I got. Oh, the chat got quiet. Not saying it much. Then I got this fireman. He comes on a base, but he's really nice. Like he would look really good in a firehouse.
You know, when I first started selling stuff, we were just selling stuff around the house, and my mother had this mortar and pestle. It was brass. And I sold that rather quickly. And the one thing I put on there was pharmacy school graduate
Huh.
in the listing.
Yeah.
So somebody who's just graduated pharmacy school, here's a little something to put behind you in your pharmacy. So maybe when you put the little fireman, maybe put, fire cadet graduate or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
Because I
because
have some friends that are on the fire squad in Vermont, and they were just so proud of their being on the volunteer fire department.
but I would connect it to a recent graduate, because here's a little something something for graduating pharmacy school, fire school, or whatever. And I think back to some of the stuff we sold, it kind of it amuses me, perplexes me, and makes me happy. Some of the stuff we've sold. And I'm sure you've got some good stories too.
Sometimes I'm like, who would buy this? But
No, I don't ask that question. I'm just thinking
oh, I do. I do
somebody
that.
else
I
out
actually
there
do that.
would like it. And
But something like this, yeah, I mean, it's just you can see that there's probably would be a market for it. So
yeah, but
I
put
love these vintage
fire
ceramic
school
things.
graduate or whatever they call it. But
But yeah, I think they are considered what cadets when they're brand
cadet
new.
graduate, or that term.
So the hat has got speckles all over it, which is weird, but it's all over the whole hat. So it looks like it was purposely put on it.
That looks like ash.
Well, it could be. But I was like, all right, it looks like there's a defect. I almost didn't buy it because it was wicked dusty on the top. So I had to kind of clear it away. And that's when I saw it. And I'm like, I don't know. Looks like somebody oversprayed something, but then I realized it was kind of all over the whole thing, so it looks like it was purposely done.
Just the hat or the body as well?
Just the hat
I would think that would indicate fire ash
and
from
just
the
the top side of the hat. All right, so
yeah.
the axe has a little tiny nick on it. Man, you are dirty.
A dirty bird.
You are dirty. I'm gonna call him Phil. Phil the fireman.
Now all you need is a Dalmatian.
Yeah, I don't have one of them. You're dirty, dirty. Man, you are not very clean.
I haven't seen Claudia in the chats lately. I wonder how she's doing.
I know she's probably sleeping right now.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't gone live in a long time. Yeah, I don't know. Should find out. I should become friends with her on Facebook. Then at least I can keep up with her. Hope she doesn't have a relapse or anything.
I know, I was concerned about that.
I know they usually have winter like when we do, but I wonder if their winter starts sooner or later than ours.
Well, let's just look it up.
Ugh, that was dirty. All right, Mr. Fireman. You got some nice blue eyes going on there.
It's Oslo, Norway is 54 degrees.
Oh, okay. So that's about what it is here. It was
Well,
39 degrees a couple mornings ago. Friday morning. Because Tony went out to goose hunt and he came back and I'm like, You're back early. And he goes, Hey, it's cold. The wind is whipping and it's coming right through me. Yeah. He didn't realize how windy it was. Because I didn't wear the appropriate clothing for the weather. Okay, I gotta keep an eye. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. I gotta pick up speed with my photos here because I'm not gonna have enough to list during 2 games.
what games are you watching?
So I want to watch the Bills and Dolphins. So I can only watch what's on my TV here. We don't have the NFL pass, and so we're in Bills territory, but they're playing the Dolphins, so it should be a pretty good game. And then after that is Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. So that should be a pretty good game.
It's 75 down here.
Wow, nice. Yeah, my sister-in-law and my brother just got back. So they went to the Hershey show with us last weekend, and then they left from there and went to Tennessee because they want to move to Tennessee. And it was beautiful weather while they were there.
Where are they moving to in Tennessee?
Well, they were looking at a bunch of different places. They spent one day in different. Each day was different area. They're probably looking more towards the eastern side,
Mm-hmm.
just because they're looking for more of very similar to Vermont. I know I think they were close to the Asheville area in North Carolina.
Eastern Tennessee's weather is I lived in Nashville for 30 some odd years. Their weather is cooler because of the mountains and stuff. Well, that's interesting.
Isn't that cool? For $1, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take that. Nice koala. And it's from Australia because it says back here.
I wondered.
So 30 years in Nashville? Wow.
34 years in Nashville. 34 years, yeah.
Well, because you're not that far from Nashville where you are right now, are you?
No, about 2 hours south
Yeah,
of it. I mean, Nashville's 2 hours south of where I am now.
Yep. I know every time I'm going through Kentucky, I'm like, where does she live again? And I look it up and then I pull up a map to see if I'm in the area view.
Yeah.
The problem is every time we're going through, it's always at like not a good time to say, hey, Holly, are you available? Let's do breakfast or lunch, because it's not either of those times. And it's just been weird.
People don't realize that Tennessee is very long. It's very, 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 very long, very wide.
Yeah.
So Nashville's kind of in the middle. And Memphis was a 3.5 hour drive from Nashville, and Knoxville was a good 4 hour drive. So it's a real long state. It kind of reminds me of Florida. Florida's real long up and down. Well, Tennessee's real long east to west.
Yeah. Not even sure I'd want to go to Memphis lately. There sounds like their crime is out of control there.
Yeah, that lady who was kidnapped and killed, that was
Oh, it's
big
devastating.
time. Yeah.
That is devastating. All right, yeah. So this is pretty cool. I'm interested to look this up. I wonder. I mean, just based upon the coloring of it, I'm wondering if it's vintage. It kind of has
Oh,
like,
it's Scream 70s.
yeah. It's with just this. Was it like bark cloth or something they call that?
No, bark cloth usually has a pattern to it. That's probably a real fine burlap.
Oh yeah, it could be because it does have just a very tight weave.
That's a burlap. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Bark cloth is stuff from I don't know if it goes back to the 40s. I know it was in the 50s. It's a real rough weave, but it always has a pattern to it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think bark cloth was for upholstery and maybe curtains
Oh,
and some
okay.
clothing, but it's going to have a pattern of some sort. But that's just a real fine
Well, this
burlap.
is why it's nice to do stuff when I have other people to bounce things off from. 85, Carlene. Aren't you I think you're in Florida, aren't you? 85. It's always hot there. Humid.
Well, they're getting hammered with this.
69 in Alabama. Yeah, they got that storm coming, the hurricane.
Yeah.
So I can't read. See, you can read Australia, but I cannot read whatever was stamped at the top of it. It's not it is not legible at all. So
Yeah, that's got 70s written all over
I
it.
probably won't even put the brand because I just don't know. Oh, you're in Texas. You think I would know because
Well, Texas is pretty hot.
Carly's been really great coming to my my whatnot shows and supporting it, which I really appreciate. Hopefully you got your stuff. I just noticed that my show from one show from this week started hitting. Oh, actually, it must have been Thursday's show because I was getting updates that I'm getting paid. So, like, that's always cool. All right, so I picked up this XM radio for your car, and I'm like, oh, it's used, but when I looked at it, because at garage sales you need to look because you know what happens? You open it and it's a different brand or something, their old radio, not their new one, but it's all still sealed in the thing, so they never used it. So it's pretty much new other. That's how I'm going to list it.
That's nice.
So yeah, the comps were like all over the place. I looked up used, and they were all over the place. Actually, I think I'll just leave these out. So I'll take a picture of the box, and then add them to the photo.
Well, the newer cars have it all built in now.
They do, but a lot of people are going to be hanging. Oh, I know people that like my sister. She's still driving a really old car. She doesn't even have Bluetooth. So when I call her and she's driving, she's like, oh, hold on a minute. I got to put my earbuds in. I'm like, man, when are you going to get a car that has Bluetooth?
I've got a 2000.
I don't like the new Siennas because she's got a Toyota Sienna. She's like, yeah, I don't like it.
I got a 2001 Camry with 170,000 miles on it.
Wow.
It's running.
You got a Toyota, so I know I'm almost at 80,000 in mine. Mine's only 3 years old. But all that racing I do puts on a ton of miles.
I just got a new radiator put in 1st of August. And so the original radiator lasted me 21 years. So I was pleased. But yeah, I had to get a new radiator. I kept the temperature light kept going to high. I thought, this does not look good. So I took it in. They said, you need a new radiator. I said, okay, put one in.
This box was so dirty. Ugh, like dusty. I always also, when I'm taking pictures, I make sure I'm wearing grubby clothes because then I can. This eBay shirt, when they made it, it was off centered. So this is my hanging out at home, gonna take pictures shirt.
Yes, I have clothes I wear only at the house. Oh, by the way, I made 3 house dresses this summer. I don't know if your mother wore them back in the day or not. House dresses, you familiar with those?
Yes.
I made 3 house dresses. I could wear them outside. That they look okay, but the one made out of Christmas material looks again, I'm just using scraps to make stuff. I made 3 of them. They're very comfortable.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, so Carlene said your latest order is coming tomorrow. Okay. I made biscuits this morning and had your maple syrup and eggs on a biscuit. It was
Oh, that's
so
right.
yummy. Yes. Yeah, I was when I did my Whatnot show a couple weeks ago, I was selling a Tupperware container that you can put syrup in. And somebody had mentioned something about me selling syrup. And since my husband helps me with my Whatnot, he was like, "Oh, go grab the syrup and you can sell syrup." So I ended up selling, I think, 8 things of syrup during that live show. So now I have it as a buy it now on all my live shows. Just
Are you going to have syrup again this year? Are you going to tap it and all that stuff?
Yeah, yep. Tony's already making plans for doing more and being bigger. Ew, this is nasty.
Expanding the operation.
This is nasty tape. All right, so this is taped to it. I'm going to just replace it with my own tape because it's gotten like
Gooey.
it's got like bugs or something attached to the. You can see.
A little science experiment there.
Yeah, that's yucky. That's yucky. I'm gonna pull you off. So I went and bought myself a birthday cake yesterday because unless I buy it for myself, I don't get it. So I bought myself a birthday cake. I told my husband, I said, "Don't invite your parents over to have cake because I want it all. I want the whole cake."
It's my birthday and I want all of it.
I bought you can buy ones that are like this big, like 6-inch cakes. So that's what I bought, and it's a vanilla cake with vanilla frosting because that's my favorite. But my kids aren't here. The only person that would really probably buy me a cake is my my husband, and yeah, we don't exchange gifts or anything for Christmas or for birthday or Christmas or anything. So. But he went to the casino with me, which was nice. And the casino gave me a free meal.
We've got a gaming hall nearby, and I keep telling my mom, we need to go by there one day and just see what's going on. I've not been to it, so I thought.
Yeah, I see that gaming hall. Isn't that just a casino? Why do they call it a gaming hall or whatever?
I don't know. I don't know.
They don't call it a casino. There must be some type of
There's some loophole that I don't know. They just call it a gaming hall.
Yeah. We were traveling with people when we went to Tennessee this in June. Had we not been, we would have so been stopping there.
Yeah, I'll see about stopping by there one time. It's in part of an old mall, so I don't know. Maybe it has to be a certain square footage because I don't know. You go there, you pull the lever. But
what a great way though for them to repurpose a mall, an old mall. Like, there's so many malls are just dead.
It's not the entire mall, but it's a portion of the mall that used to be there because the mall is still sort of open, but to what degree, I don't know how many stores are in there. But I do know that this gaming hall is on the end of part of the mall, but it's near the grocery store we like to go to. So I'm going to say, well, let's go to the gaming hall and then go to the grocery store. That sounds like a fun time.
You know what's really weird about this? So these are there's 2 of these that are sealed inside the box.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a UPC right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That UPC is different than this sealed part. And it's different than the box. Okay, it's got the remote control. I was hoping it was one of those ones that they're like for a lifetime.
That's one that goes in the car, and those are probably not lifetimes. I used to have XM radio, so I had different configurations of it.
XM Sky-Fi. Like this would have been good in our RV before we replaced the radio, but we bought a new radio. But we didn't hook up the XM Wi-Fi for it. Probably should have though, because I hate that, like every half hour to an hour, I got to search for a new radio station.
The thing about XM radio now is it's all Bluetooth and through the phone. So I wonder if somebody is in the market for these hardwired ones when you can just use your phone now to get XM.
There is a market because I scanned this UPC before I went into the store or before I bought it, and there were solds.
Good.
Let me look see what they're going for on Amazon. I did not check Amazon. So this goes for $169. Assuming that's new. Used goes for $82 on Amazon.
And how much did you get it for?
Well, it had a $20 sticker on it. So after fees, it's $68. So it had an it had a $20 sticker, but it was part of the whole, everything was $33 and I paid $27 for all of it. So
well, you still make money off of it.
Yeah. So even if I took the $5 savings off from just this and I paid $15, but yeah, even at $20, I would have paid $20 for it if she wouldn't have even negotiated. The box is not, the box looks used. And if I was to sell this, I would probably sell it used like new and say that these were all sealed. So I would be looking at the used price because the box is used. And the other thing is on Amazon, if I sell it on Amazon, I would want it to be used because I cannot offer a warranty. So I probably should take a picture of the back, all of the data on the back.
Have you decided if you're going to continue with Amazon anymore, or are you just going to?
So I think I'm going to, no matter what, I'll still be doing Amazon, and I'll probably still pay that $40 a month. I'll probably continue with that because I don't want to lose all the stuff I got ungated in. It's just for me, I might stop paying for Keepa come January, and I'll probably stop Inventory Lab. And so Inventory Lab went up. It went from 49 to like 67, I think.
Yikes.
In September. But the problem is, like, it was great when I was sending stuff into Amazon FBA, but now that I'm mostly doing FBM, and even then I'm not even doing that much FBM. So I used it primarily for accounting, and for me it was worth it because it pulled in all of the Amazon data and it broke it down into all the categories I would need for taxes, which was so helpful. So if there's a way, I got to check into QuickBooks and see if there's a way QuickBooks Ed would that do it? Because if I can import, I'd love to find a program where I could import eBay, Etsy, Amazon, Shopify, have everything come into one. Because even my Shopify, so I tried that for a year, and in December I was going to decide whether or not I want to continue for another year, and I think I'm going to. Even though I'm probably losing money, I'm pretty sure I'm probably losing money on it, but I'm starting to see, because of course this is planner season right now, and I'm starting to see more consistent sales come through, which is nice. So even if I can break even, it's just nice to have that presence out there. So I think I've decided I'm going to end up keeping that. But I did decide to do pay-per-click on eBay.
I saw that on your Facebook.
Oh, probably are you in the eBay Haunt group?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to that, I was on eBay Open, and I was just like, somehow, and you know what, so when I put that post in that Facebook group, I was going to make oh, hey, drummer, haven't seen you in forever. So Exceller List. I've heard of Exceller List. I'll have to check that out. I'm going to take a picture of your comment so I can check that out. Oh, and there's also a program I'm going to check out that was at the eBay Open in the Expo Center, the virtual Expo Center. He sent me an email about his program. I want to check that out. But it sounds like similar to List Perfectly, but they list to like 80 platforms. So I don't even know what they all are, but What was I saying? Now I forgot because I saw Drummer's comment. I was excited to see you, Drummer. Now I forgot what I was saying.
You were talking about inventory lab and keeping track of stuff.
Yeah. But there was something beyond that. I don't remember. So I guess it probably wasn't really that important. It probably was, but my short-term memory is horrible.
Squirrel.
When I'm doing whatnot and somebody will say, "Oh, pay per click." Thank you for telling me what I was talking about. So I was like, so I ended up looking at this report on eBay, and I tried to find it yesterday when I was creating that post on that Facebook group, and I could not find where I found that report, but somehow I found a report on eBay, and it showed me that it had to do with returns, and it showed that I have a 0% INAD in the business and industrial category, which ends up being planners are under business and industrial, which I knew. But it also showed me that the majority of my sales are in the business and industrial category. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I've got 1,800 items listed, and the majority are not planners. But I guess because I don't sell like a lot of toys or a lot of clothing, like I sell some. And if you were to take all of those other categories, they're definitely a lot more than my planners, because I don't sell a ton of planners, but I was surprised to see that it was my number one seller. So I said, I think I'm going to try the pay per click, because I ended up, so in that group, you see Danny Hone.
Yes, the t-shirt guy.
Yeah, the t-shirt guy. He's always sharing like stats on how many people sell t-shirts and how many sellers sell t-shirts, how many t-shirts sell a day, and then how many he sells. So he's always like, I'm trying to fight for this little piece of the pie. There's like 100,000 sellers that sell 26,000 t-shirts. He goes, so not every seller sells t-shirts. So he's always fighting for that. So he's always sharing those stats. And I'm thinking, my gosh, he is stat crazy. I don't look at stats. I do like numbers, but for some reason I don't seem to ever look for them.
Well, he's in a really competitive environment, so he has to be a numbers guy, because he's in a very, very competitive environment.
Yeah. So I went and I said, you know what? I'm going to look and see on eBay. I'm going to do it right now. How many 2023 planners are sold on eBay? Right now, there's over 6,000. It just says 6,000 plus at the bottom. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's all blurry, but 6,000 plus. And I'm like, I've got 33 of them listed. So how do I sell my 33? How do I get people to look at my 33 when there's 6,000 plus listed? So I was looking at all of the problem is I can't tell when it says sponsored, 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 right? The first four are sponsored. How do I get myself on that top four? And I thought, well, eBay rolled out pay-per-click like recently in the last year, where the other promoted listings rolled out previous years, and they always love to push their newer things. So I thought maybe doing pay-per-click will move me up to that top spot in those four, because it just says sponsored. I don't know if that's just promoted. Maybe somebody's paying 20% promoted listing, or, is it pay-per-click? I don't know. Like somebody is $3.98 with free shipping. Come on.
Hello.
Here we go. No, still not going to get, still blurry. Well, but I'm like, I don't understand that. How can they sell that for $3.98 with free shipping and be in the top spot? Let's see if they're from China. No, Cleveland, Ohio. Not unless they're mailing it with a post, just a stamp. You know what I mean? Like they're not putting
a planner is going to weigh more than what a stamp is just under an ounce.
Well, these are like the ones you would get at the Dollar Tree, and they're just like a pocket, planner.
That's still going to weigh more than an ounce.
me see. Let me see the brand. No, I don't know. It says $4.95 on the the price tag on the back. I don't know how they're doing it, but somehow they're able to ship for obviously
Unless they're
really
selling
cheap.
media mail, shipping media mail.
Well, listen, they've sold 345 of them. So
You know
even
what?
if you're only making $1,
Buy one. I've bought from some of my competitors just to see how they package the item,
yeah.
mainly how they package the items.
Well, this
And
person wouldn't even really be a competitor because I don't sell this size. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. What I really would prefer to know is how are you getting on that first page? Like, what are you doing? Are you doing pay-per-click being promoted at a high percentage? Like, you can't. How could this person even do a high percentage when they're selling it for $3.98 with free shipping?
I
Could
like
be just a
John's
feedback
comment
builder.
here. Could just be a feedback builder.
I know they got 7,200 feedback. Like, it's not like they're a new seller and they're trying to build their feedback.
Well, go to their store and see what else they sell. Because it could be what's called a loss leader, i.e., feedback builder. And then they're selling other things at a more normal price, but this is their loss leader that they're getting good feedback from or something. That's a good point, John.
All right, so they also are selling some. All right, so they're selling some for $2.89 with free shipping. Then the one that I just showed, $3.98. Then they have yeah, this one is $7.95 with free shipping. That was the other thing I was doing, was looking at, again, in that group I put this graphic up that eBay created that pretty much shows like how to, like, if your sales are slow, look at this checklist. Pretty much knows all these colored squares. And of course they're still pushing free shipping because we do know. I mean, I know I like free shipping, but I also know that free shipping is not free. It's built into the price. And if I'm buying more than one from somebody, that they're making money in the long run versus me just going to buy one thing. But like earlier when Laura was looking at buying the planners I'm selling, or this, logbook, the fact that you can go to Amazon and buy this for, was it, I think $5.98. Like, I couldn't even ship it. And plus what I paid for it, I think I paid like 3 something for them. It wouldn't really be worth it to buy from like me or eBay. So when I'm shopping as a shopper, I do go to Amazon a lot of times, especially for lightweight, small, things that I know that I can get for inexpensive, for free, and pay like $5 when I know it would cost that a lot more on eBay.
You know what? I did this as a test when I first started selling flatware. There was a big player on there, not replacements, but a couple other ones. And I thought, I want to see how they package their stuff. And I ordered an item from them, and they sent it in a bubble wrap or padded envelope and just stuck the fork in there. A little bit of bubble wrap around it, but nothing to really protect it. But the one thing I looked at was how many ounces. They had 2 ounces. They weren't paying for the 4 ounces like you and me. They were
Right.
paying for 2 ounces, which they've got 30,000 items in their store. So I'm wondering, if you are at a higher shipping level, do you even get a bigger break on shipping? That person was able to ship that at 2 ounces, and their shipping is free. But
So you know what they're doing is they're just cheating the system, hoping they don't get caught. Because my sister, who makes maple syrup candy, maple candy and caramels and stuff, she was looking at her competition on Etsy.
yeah,
And she noticed that the seller on Etsy who was selling food products was shipping media mail. And she was just like, how can I compete against somebody who is stealing from the system? right? Because they're shipping chocolate media mail. And I'm like, you can't compete with them. You just hope that someday they get caught and they get shut down, and then that's it. But if you sell 100, let's say you sold 100 of a knife, right? 100 knives, and you charge 2 ounces, and eBay charges you, somehow the post office caught 5 of them, so you get upcharged for those 5. A lot of times it's not your local post office that's catching it. It's the destination post offices. So you can probably go for a really long time cheating the system and making bank before they would even catch you.
I will
But I mean,
say,
I couldn't deal with that. Like, I would have a hard time being able to, you know, I can't do that.
I'm buddies with a couple of the postal clerks at my post office, and I said something to the guy. I said about media mail. I always make a joke. I say, "I promise this is media mail." You know, I kind of make a little joke. And he said, "Well, he there was nobody behind me, so he was able to talk for a minute." He said, "If you're caught sending something media mail that isn't media mail, you will go on a list. And then the next time you bring something to the window, this list comes up because it's connected to your account. And we are told to, if you're sending it media mail right there, to open it. So there is a list. Now, how well and how often people
Right. I
do
should ask my
something,
sister to go back and see if that seller is still doing that, because this was almost a year ago.
yeah.
First, I want to say hi to Danky. Excuse me, gosh. Hey, Danky, I saw your message and just hadn't had a chance to jump in and say hi. And so John says that years ago, he bought something from a competitor, wondering how they could sell so cheap. Seemed impossible. Turns out they were using the postage meter at their day job.
Oh, yeah, that's free.
So I could see, yeah, so there was a gentleman I used to work with at the utility company. He was kind of my buddy when I worked there. I worked in the accounting, and he was in the, well, pretty much like the mail room, and did all like the office supply section. So if I needed something, that's who I'd go see. Oh, and he also did the printing. He was like hat. He's somebody I could see who would do that, who would be like, I'm just going to bring in these 10 packages and just throw them in with the regular mail and have work ship it. Yeah, I can see that.
Well,
Yeah.
there is a
I'll be
list of
honest.
media mail violators. So there's,
Well, I hope there is, and I
oh
hope
no, there
that
is a list.
yeah. Well, I
But
hope it's just not like at a local. Like, I hope it's um
speaking of postal stuff, are you still going to Mr. Cranky at your place? Or are you driving 15 minutes down the road?
so it's combination. I've been feeling really guilty by not bringing it to him, because I know that my business is what keeps him open. Um, so my husband will bring him there when my husband brings it, although not all the time, because I did whatnot and on Tuesday and Thursday this week, and I ended at 1 o'clock on Thursday. Well, one of the days I was done by 1. My post office ends at 1:30, so there's no way I could have gotten all the stuff done and packaged and sent. But I packaged them, and my husband brought them to the furthest one away. But I felt so guilty because I had like 30 packages from whatnot,
No, no,
and I'm like,
you
man,
didn't do
I
anything
gave that.
wrong.
Well, part of it is not only because of his personality, which my husband says he's perfectly fine to him, but the other part is he's just not open long enough. And if I can get something into the mail and on its way to my customer, especially on Whatnot, where I'm just starting, it's only been a couple months, and I'm trying to build that clientele, and hopefully
Hmm.
people like Carlene will, she comes, because of course she comes here to YouTube. But other people, I'm hoping that they'll be like, hey, that was really quick service. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I bought it on Tuesday and got it on Thursday. Like, she got it to me so fast. And so I'm hoping that they will continue to come and buy from me. And they're getting a great deal, because I'm selling stuff for a lot less than I am on eBay, like a lot less. So I will say on Whatnot, I did tell my husband that, so every now and then he'll make comments, and I'm like, you can't say that. Don't say that.
Your husband or the postal guy?
my husband when I'm on Whatnot, because he's in
Oh,
here at my desk and I'm over here at the table showing stuff.
he's your Ed McMahon.
And he'll be like, well, let's say I started something at $3 and it's at $8, right? Because it's an auction, so people are bidding. And he's like, oh my God. He like says it out loud. Oh my God, they're at $8. And I'm like, don't say that. Let him keep going. Or which I feel really bad because I think Carlene was one that she wanted a Starbucks mug I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I started at like $3, because I mean, definitely if I see regulars in there and they're asking for something, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give you a much better deal than I would if it was just, you know, Jane coming in and wanting something. So I said $3, and she ended up not getting it because it's an auction, and ended up making, I think it ended up at $8. And I felt bad because I ended up going to somebody different, type of
Well,
thing.
we've got our main little post office here in my town, and then about 15 minutes down the road, there's a smaller post office, and it's a regular post office. It's not one of these in the store type of things, and they have shorter hours. Well, I was at our post office one day, and again, nobody else was in the lobby, and they started talking about the lady who runs the one down there, and they let go. This woman was a pain in the katukas.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody liked her. The clients, the patrons would come all the way into town because there's so and so's car in the parking lot. She's going to be in a bad mood, and we don't want to deal with her. So now you owe it to your customers to give prompt service, to give service that you want them to have, and it's not on your shoulders. You didn't do anything to feel guilty about because you want your customers to have the best experience. And you know that if you go to one down the road, you're not going to get the grief from this guy. And you know what? He probably sees you bringing in a whole bunch, and he's going to hold some back and use those for the next day.
Well, so I brought on Friday morning, I brought Thursday's orders.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Tuesdays I was able to get out that day. Thursday, it was a good show and I had a lot to do. Plus I had my normal ones to still package because I don't normally package on Thursday. But because I have 2-day handling. So I really only ship Monday, Wednesday, and Friday most of the time. But if I have whatnot. So I was putting it together and I brought it Friday morning. I mean, I do like to keep that post office open. It's really good for because I live in that community where that post
Right.
office is. So I really want it to stay open. And I do know that they were looking at closing it before I moved into this area. But yeah, I mean, I did tell him though, because there was that one day where he didn't scan my items in that day. He waited to the next day.
That's totally unacceptable.
Yeah. And I went and explained to him, like, look, these are the consequences. I have 2-day handling. And when I come in on Wednesday, somebody may have bought that on Monday and I have to have it scanned on Wednesday. I don't stand here and watch you scan it because, and I've brought him a scan sheet before and he didn't want it. And the other guy didn't want him either, but Peter was he never had an issue. So I said to him, if I have to stand here and watch you scan them, I will. I said, but I'm at the point now, if this happens again, because he didn't acknowledge it one way or the other. He didn't say, I'm sorry. He didn't say, I thought I scanned everything. He just stood there with the, like, listening, right? He didn't say anything. And I said, if it happens again, I will probably bring my stuff to Winthrop and not bring my items here because it's my business. This is what I do for a living. And, I tried to be really, like, I was giving him the opportunity. I said, maybe you pushed the bag away and you didn't, and you missed it and you forgot that it was sitting over there. Like, giving him the opportunity to be like, like, I am so sorry. I pushed it over and I completely missed your bag of stuff sitting there later in the day. But the fact that he didn't scan it this was a Monday. So the fact that he didn't scan it Tuesday when he walked in right away at 9, when he has to sit there and start putting the mail in the post office boxes, because he is in a very small, like, it is the size of like somebody's shed is his post office. It's very, very tiny. So he would trip over my bag. When he was leaving, he would have seen it unless he was not clearly paying attention. Enough where at Christmas time, the previous postal person used to say, "Can you please bring it after 11?" Because he had the incoming mail was
Right.
on the floor that he had to sort, and he goes, "I don't have room for your incoming and that outgoing and incoming." So I mean, I was giving him I felt like I'm a very fair person. And if you just say, like, I am sorry, I missed it or I did whatever, but the fact that he didn't scan it until at 1:28 the next day and he closes at 1:30. So he sat there all day on Tuesday not scanning it until that next day. There's no way he would have missed it. When he walked in that next morning, he would have seen that bag.
He was saving those for the next day.
I'm like, that just, yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah. This guy's a giant. I mean,
You know
nothing
he's
against Ray.
big.
I don't want to say anything about his personal stuff, but he is a very large man, like height wise. I think he said he was like 6'10". Like he's very tall. He cannot walk through the doorway without having to duck way down. So he's a heavier set, but not like a huge fat man, but he's a big,
He's a big dude.
like oh, what's that show? Yeah, he's this big guy. So he's not one that's just this little meager older person that would shuffle through and could miss something. Like he needs space to walk, so he would definitely see something.
No, that's unacceptable. And you,
Drummer says time for him to retire. So he's young.
yeah.
He's only in like his 20s, maybe early 30s, if that. Yeah,
Well,
this is his first job with the post office.
you were very succinct in how you were saying, this is hurting me. And if I'm hurting, then it's going to go down the line. And the fact that he didn't acknowledge it is a little disappointing. And, you've got your reputation, which I know you take very seriously. You want your customers, because listen, a lot of my feedback is fast shipping, arrived
Yeah,
early, well packaged. It all has to do with that. And if you do get feedback, that's going to be part of it. And if they are seeing something taking forever to get there, that's going to reflect back on you. And you're in this for you. You're in this to make money and to provide a good service. And if somebody is choosing to be ornery about it, here's an old word for you.
Yeah, like Carlene says, lazy, and I think he is lazy. And when I've brought stuff to the Winthrop office, I've told them, I said, I'm bringing him here because when he first didn't scan it, I brought them to the other post office, and I was telling her, I said, yeah, I'm really ticked because he didn't scan my stuff the other day, and I think I brought him there originally not to avoid him, but because of the time and stuff is why I brought him there. But I was mentioning it to her, and she said, because he's not even affiliated with that post office, but he'll call them. He goes, yeah, he was wondering what it was a holiday. It was some holiday, and he didn't get paid for it, and he was angry. So he was asking her for like the list of the holidays or something they get paid for. I can't remember what it was. It was something weird, and I'm like, well, why doesn't he ask his HR person? Like, why is he even calling you another post office? And she seemed like she was like really annoyed with him with the questions he calls and asks. She just seemed really annoyed. And I said, yeah, I said, there's just something about him. I don't know what it is. I think it is laziness. And I know he used to have a gambling problem because he used to work at the local casino. And when I had won that jackpot earlier in the year, I had mentioned to him that I had won. And of course, every Wednesday I'm dropping off my mail and then heading right to the casino. And so I would always kind of have conversations with him. And then one time he told me that he had a gambling addiction and he used to work there and he doesn't anymore. So now I don't even tell him when I'm going to the casino because I don't want to.
You're
Or if I win, I don't want to.
him.
Yeah, I don't want him to be like, oh my gosh, you won again. Oh, I got to get in there, right? Because he's part-time at this post office. He's probably not making like a crap load of money. I don't know if he has another job aside from this where the guy before him, Peter, worked at this post office and then he would go to the larger post office in a town called Potsdam and he would work at Potsdam's. That's where he is now. I ran into him the other day and I'm like, I miss you so much. He goes, I'm still not full time yet. I'm like, what do you mean? I thought he went over there so he would be full time. I'm like, get back to your post office. I miss you. Yeah, I tell you, if you've got a good postal person that you bring your stuff to and you have a good relationship with them, don't take that for granted.
Oh,
I would always bring Christmas time I'd bring about poinsettia. I brought mums in the fall time, this time of year, like just random things. I would be like, here's a bag of candy because I know
I bring candy.
he was paying because he has a candy dish and that comes out of his own pocket. That's not anybody
Oh,
else,
I will take a lid from a box and I'll put like pink paper or something on it and I dump a bunch of candy in it and I make them give it to everybody, all the carriers in the back. And I put a big thank you from me and my address on it. And it's for everybody, not just the front
Yeah,
crew. This is, I
that's
say,
nice.
take
Well,
it to the
when
back.
we were moving from Vermont, I bought them all pizza to say thank you for everything that they did for my business and stuff. Because that was a whole post office with carrier. This guy has no carriers. Like it's just him.
Just a one man shop.
There's nobody. UPS stops there every now and then, drops off or picks up, does something. But there's no other workers that leave out of there to go do anything. But he is and I was very, very generous at Christmas time with my gift I give them, which is cash. But one time with Peter, there was a little sticker during 2020 that had you could put it on your mailbox, and it pretty much was like thanking the postal person
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever.
I
So
think I
I
saw.
ordered one of those from Etsy, and I took it and put it on a water bottle that I was selling some water bottles, and I brought that in and gave it to him. So I'm like, I'm always doing so. Like this guy, I'm giving him nothing because honestly, he just doesn't even deserve it. But maybe that would help with some rapport. Maybe he lives in, a depressed household and like, he goes to work. He has no coworkers. The only people he sees are people like me dropping off packages and
I can see the fact that he's isolated, but he does have
yeah,
people coming in. But you're going to have to really think about this because if you are on your second day of shipping and you're going in there, either watch him scan it because you're on the bubble right there, you know?
yeah. I see Timothy. He needs to move back into his mom's basement and finish his video games. His service sucks. Yeah, it's so he grew up in this area. He told me his whole life story one day. I was in there for like an hour. That was when I was
Jeez.
finding out that he was addicted. Had an addiction to gambling. He lived in this area. He moved to I don't know if it was Texas or Arizona, somewhere out in that direction. Because him and his girlfriend had broken up, and he was heartbroken, so he just packed up and left, and like all this stuff. And now he's just back in the area. But yeah, he's not very old. He's got a lot of life lessons to learn. John says, I love my carrier. Avoid the local PO whenever possible. They're friendly enough, but always seem like they're on an organized slowdown or something. Yeah, my carrier has changed. There seems to always be a new carrier here because it's a part-time route that does mine. When we first moved here, I was having the carrier pick up my packages and they were not picking them up. So I'm just like, yeah. I mean, it's like a 2-minute drive to my post office. So I bring them.
We
Plus,
just
Tony brings them.
we recently got a new carrier because they redid our route. We were getting our mail anywhere from 2 to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And all of a sudden, I noticed a different vehicle, and it was 11 o'clock in the morning. And I made a comment. I said, when I went in to the post office, I said, hey, we're getting our mail out early. He said, they redid your route because it was too big for one person
Oh,
and
wow.
they spun it off. So now we're getting our mail a whole lot earlier. But that was kind of nice because getting your mail at 4 o'clock is, late in the day,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
That doesn't bother me as much because I don't even go and get my mail every day. But like UPS would come between
Mhm.
like 5 and 7, and I hated that. But now they come at like 11.
Yeah, our UPS guy comes from almost an hour away, and then if we get anything UPS, it'll be between 10 and 1.
I got this. Oops. I'm not really sure. I guess you hang it on a doorknob.
Yeah. That's
There you
got
go.
door decoration written all over it.
Yeah. So I actually, since I've been doing Whatnot, when I'm out, I've been picking up things that are lightweight, that would be easy to sell in Whatnot. I wanted to have a Whatnot sale with just like autumn stuff, Halloween. I picked up this. I think I might put this actually on my garage, the door that goes from my garage into my house. I got to find a wreath hooker for it. All this stuff. What else do I got?
Well, you
I
got
got
enough
a
pictures
bag.
to, did you take enough pictures for your listings?
I got some napkins. Gotta bring them upstairs. I think I got enough. I have a whole tote full of stuff right now I just took pictures of, so I think I might be good because I got a couple stuff. Oh, I thought this was cute. This was a quarter. I wonder if somebody made this. This is spider venom. Yeah, for those people who like to decorate with for Halloween with scary stuff.
Oh, here's a Halloween tidbit for you.
Oh, this is what I want. I bought this to put on my mantle, my fireplace.
I was at Joann Fabrics recently, and I made a comment to the girl when she was cutting my fabric. I said, "Oh, have y'all been busy with Halloween stuff, selling Halloween stuff?" And she said, and I was referring to patterns. She said, "Oh, we've been selling a lot of Halloween decorations." I said, "Oh, really?" She said, "Hobby Lobby does not sell anything Halloween.
Really?
No fabric, no decorations, nothing Halloween.
It's just autumn. It's not.
It's just
Halloween?
autumn." So
Okay.
she said corporate figured that out a couple years ago, and we're selling a lot of Halloween decoration stuff. So
I've never noticed that because I shop at Hobby Lobby all the time.
yeah, you go a lot more than I do, but
Yeah.
they don't sell anything
Got a precious limit.
with Halloween on it.
Interesting. I wonder if I should bring this up and just put it on my door. I like that. I prefer to decorate with autumn than to decorate with than Halloween. I don't really decorate Halloween. Like I'm not looking for spooky, scary. I'm more this. So I'm gonna bring that and put it up on my thing. And then yeah, I gotta be signing off because I gotta get up. The game starts in 9 minutes. And I gotta figure out what I'm gonna have for lunch. I had to stand in line every day just to make sure my packages got scanned. See, that's what I don't want to do. Don't want to do that. Yeah, besides you, there might be another person or business that needs something next day to save a life. Yeah, exactly.
Our medicine,
Yeah.
you know, we get our medicine through the mail.
Oh, I had a fill-in driver a couple years ago that did thrifting in eBay. Yeah, that's nice, especially when you can share tips and stuff, and they understand the importance. I only do that now with really expensive shipments. Always at least 45 minutes wait here. Wow. You
Jeez.
know, mine are like I'm in and
Lunch.
out. Yeah, when I walk in, I'm usually the only person
Mhm.
dropping off stuff at both branches I go to. Have you heard about the Posh Live auctions and beta testing? It would be very interesting to see how it works. So I have not heard about that, but
I have.
On eBay Live, I went to the one. It wasn't a breakout, but it was like one of the breaks intermissions, and that's the only time they would actually be literally live people on the screen. Everything else was pre-recorded, except for some breakouts. But they had these two people, and they said, scan this QR code, go to this website, and we'll meet you there in a few minutes. So I scanned it. Ends up being it's eBay Live is what they're calling their like Whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing it already at they did it at Gen Con, whatever that is, Pokemon cards. They ended up breaking Pokemon cards and doing it live there. But I'm excited because I'm really enjoying Whatnot. I love the fast action of being able to move stuff quickly. Not everything sells. And I did do a board game show one time. I sold one board game and it was there for 3 hours. Like what a waste of time. And then I ended up doing it again that same day, another board game, the same board game show, but I just like brought everything over and wasted another 3 hours and sold nothing. So it can be a time suck if you are doing things that people don't really want on Whatnot. People want lightweight, inexpensive, like shipping wise items. They like things that they can get for, I think, like $5 and under. But I will tell you, I was in an arts and crafts show where they were selling completed, like cross stitch, embroidery, all that kind of stuff. It was all completed items, and they were going for like $65, $85. Like it was crazy prices. And, and that's probably what you could get for some of that on eBay. But I was shocked with the prices they were getting. So I think if you can build a following, or if you market it enough, like I could have said, oh, I'm going to do Whatnot instead of take pictures. I would have gotten people in there. I probably would have gotten between 10 and 20 people would pop in, and some would buy. All it takes is that one right buyer. But if you're selling something, like if you were going to do that vintage Tupperware that I was telling that lady at a garage sale about, if she was to put it on there and then market it on the different social media platforms to drive people there to know, oh, she's having this Tupperware show, go on a Tupperware like Facebook group and let them know that, hey, I'm doing this vintage Tupperware show. You could get almost eBay prices for your items on there. So I'm excited for eBay Live. I'm hoping that it's easy enough for me to be able to say, link into my store, click on these 40 items from my store and import them into the auction listing for eBay Live.
That would be
If
cool.
Whatnot could do something like that with their API, that would be such a time saver, because right now that's the biggest time saver is putting all of your info in of what you're going to be auctioning off. I haven't been doing it because it's just too much time. All right. How were sewing kits or quilt kits for projects sell for? So I had that auction where I just did those embroidery and cross stitch, and I just did like a pick show. Like here's 10 of them on the table, pick one. And that one did pretty well. I cleared out a lot, but my cost of goods was like $1 for each of them. So if I sold them for $3 or $4, I was okay with it. And they'd already been listed on eBay for a year, so all of the most popular ones were already cleared out. So these were ones that I've been hanging on to for a year at this point, already listed, and they hadn't sold. So yeah, I was okay with moving them for $3 or $4 versus 12 on eBay, because right now I'm over, like, I've got so much death pile that I've got to clear out what's in the listed totes to make room for the stuff in my death pile. So my goal right now is just to, if I can break even, I'm happy. I just need to move this stuff out. So that's
Well, I'm gonna let you go, Coach, and
yeah, I know I gotta go and get upstairs. And
my
besides
mom's watching ball games too, so she's getting ready for her ball games coming up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I wish that we last year DirecTV gave us free NFL package. We used to pay for it, but we stopped paying for it. But yeah, it would be nice because I'd like to watch the Patriots play instead of Buffalo. But oh well. All right. Well, thanks for hanging with me, Holly. I appreciate it. And hopefully, now that we're back into Q4, I'm no longer traveling with the RV until next May. It's already been winterized. I'm hoping to get back into a routine of doing some shows again with you guys. So thanks for everybody who did pop in, and for anybody who's watching it on the replay. If you're new on the replay, hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up. If y'all could hit thumbs up, that would be amazing for me. I don't normally ask for that unless I'm in a video, but here live, if you could do that, that would be good. All right. See you later. Bye.